Hi there, my name is Alanna Levinson, and I am a business coach, success coach in simplicity, but really I'm a catalyst for change and whatever that means for you in terms of your life or your business. So I want to I want to share a coaching tip with you, and it relates to relationships and communication. And it's this concept of creating boundaries. And I hear about this a lot. I have for probably my entire coaching career. And the coaches talk about it, therapists talk about it, there's many books about it. But I wanted to provide some clarity on how to really transform a relationship more quickly. And sometimes it means calling it something else besides a boundary. Now, I'm not saying that using the phrase boundary is always inappropriate. Sometimes it very much is, depending on the relationship with the person. Uh, the intent is to really protect yourself because maybe that relationship has been harmful or toxic to you, and you've made your best efforts, and it's time to just create a boundary with them. That said, that's not always true for our relationships. And when somebody wants to create a boundary with someone, it's usually because it's become really personal. And I don't mean like it's a personal relationship, but like the context has become personal, uncomfortable, toxic, harmful. So if somebody wants to create a boundary, it's because they feel like that person has crossed a line, uh, and they want to put up a wall to protect themselves. So there's this protection element to it. Now, if your intent is to improve the relationship, I like to call it something else. I like to call it a healthy parameter. And creating a healthy parameter with someone, sure, has an element of protection to it, but that's not the major or primary intent. It's to improve the relationship. So it's different language, which creates a different perception, which ultimately creates a new experience. And the thing about when you think about creating a boundary, when you put up a wall is kind of harder to move. And you probably won't want to move it once you actually manage to put it up, because creating boundaries and practicing that for some people is a really difficult thing. And it can be actually quite healing. Whereas when you create a parameter, a healthy parameter, parameters can be moved and they're flexible. And relationships change all the time. So you can also change that healthy parameter with someone as your relationship changes. How does this translate into work? So instead of complaining to me, for example, about your manager, maybe you and I work together and we have these conversations about work, and every once in a while you complain to me about your manager. I might say, hey, you know what? When you bring this up, it makes me uncomfortable because there's nothing I can really do about it. And instead, I'm going to encourage you to actually go work this out with your manager. And in doing so, when I say this to this person, I'm actually creating a healthy parameter with this relationship. And I might even be demonstrating to them that maybe they can do the same thing with their manager. Another way that this shows up is I might have a coworker or a colleague or a relationship with a stakeholder in another department, and we need to get work done. If I'm a leader and I'm communicating with another leader and our teams rely on each other for a particular project or product, then maybe I can have a direct conversation with that person if there's any attention, or there's something about our communication style, or there's some difficult conversations that we're having. And we could create some healthy parameters so that those conversations are productive. And that not only has an impact on our relationship, it's going to have an impact on how our teams interact with each other as a whole. So I've given you just a few examples of this, and there's a lot more to it. And sometimes with my clients, I'll role play. I'll find out more about the relationship that they have that's making them uncomfortable, that they want to improve, that they need to improve for a particular reason. And then we talk about some specifics on how they can actually do that with that person and have the courage to say something and say it in a way where it can be heard and they can actually communicate, listen in a different way, which ultimately has an impact, a productive impact on that relationship. So if you want help with something that you're going on in your life, or these kinds of situations show up for you, this is the kind of work that I do with clients, among many, many other things. So I'll leave my contact information below, and send me a direct message, and let's talk about what we can do to improve your work relationships. And ultimately, this also improves the relationship that you have with yourself. So have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time.